Colin Russo with the Panther Prowl, ESPN West Palm. The Florida Panthers on a bit of a homestand right now. I'd like to welcome back in for episode 2, Mr. Doug Plagens, the radio play-by-play voice himself. Joining us now, Doug, how are we doing today? What's going on?
Doing great. How are you?
It was good. How was the road trip? And then now we're back at home for quite a bit now. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, the schedule, the way that it's been, the Panthers have only had 2 road trips. Both of them have been over a week long. So great to get some extended time at home. Of course, they have the one game in Nashville coming up on Monday night, but then it's right back at home for another chunk of time. So good place for the Panthers to be. They came back off that Western road trip with a winning record. So in an Eastern Conference that is a really crowded race right now, to come back with the winning record and an opportunity to play a lot of games at home between now and, the first week of December or so, chance to kind of make a move, maybe get some separation in the standings. And of course, coming off a win at the time we're having this conversation.
Yeah, and after coming off a win over the Canucks, were a lot of scoring the other night. 8 goals they scored. They're 2-3 since they've been back at home. I believe they have 8 of the next 9. You mentioned that Nashville game at home at Amarant Bank. They've been great at Amarant Bank this year. The home ice has definitely been to the Panthers' favor to this point. What's going to be the key now? Because you mentioned a crowded Eastern Conference. This is a lot of good teams right now playing well early on in the season. You don't have to worry about the race too much yet. But when you have 11 out of 12 games at home, you got to make sure you take advantage of these types of homestands. What have you seen from the Panthers in the last couple games that shows you that they could really capitalize on this opportunity?
Well, you look back over this last chunk of time, and for the most part, even the games in which the Panthers have fallen short, they like a lot of what they're doing. They like their game. They know what it needs to look like, especially with some big guns out of the lineup. And they've handled not having some of these big guns. We know Barkov's out. We know Tkachuk's out. They've been without some other regulars from the Stanley Cup run from last year as well. And they've managed to continue to evolve their game, know what things need to look like without those guys, and play some winning hockey here. So there's a pedigree with this team now. There's a track record with this team. They know what to expect night to night. And again, they've found ways to win different kinds of games, win some games that look different, but at the same time, they know what it takes night to night. We've seen them play some really good games against some good teams. You go back to the win in Vegas to close out that road trip, that last road trip, and taking both games against Vegas this season. That's no easy task, and they were able to get both of those. Coming off a high-scoring affair against the Vancouver Canucks, outlasting Vancouver in that one, winning it 8-5. We saw a lot of things work in the Panthers' favor, especially the second and third periods. I know Vancouver was able to claw back. A lot of the credit there goes to Quinn Hughes, who really is just a special player, and a lot of the offense for Vancouver funneled through him. But for the most part, you look at that one, the Panthers had to love what they did in the second and third periods. 30 shots on goal. Shots on goal don't always tell you the story in a hockey game, but to put up 30 shots over the second and third periods in that game back on Monday against Vancouver kind of shows you how that game went, and that the Panthers were really able to get things rolling in their favor. So now you have a big chunk of time here at home, an opportunity to have a couple of days on home ice. It's allowed the Panthers a chance to get some rest, get some practice time, and gear up for what should be a big one against New Jersey coming in on Thursday night. I know that they don't have Jack Hughes at this point in time, but that's still a New Jersey team that's got a lot of talent that expects to be in the Stanley Cup playoffs. And anytime you play a team that you might run into down the road, that's a big game, even if it is the middle of November.
Yeah, Jack Hughes not going to be on the ice. A fluke injury. Strange story that happened the other night with him. So they won't see him. But the Devils, you're like you said, definitely a team that expects to see themselves in the postseason. And one thing that I've seen with the Panthers to this point this year is the ability to stack games. It's got to come at like a premium. They had that game to finish off the road trip against Vegas. They came back home. They took care of business against the Capitals, where Brad Marchand got his 1,000th point. We'll get into that in a couple minutes. And then now they drop up one to the Lightning, and then you recover a little bit against the Canucks. Stringing together victories, I think, is an underrated part of what a great hockey team can do that we've seen with the Florida Panthers here in the past. They had a great start to the season, then a bit of a fluctuation and up and down. But like you said, with good teams coming into town at home, getting some practice time, in terms of stacking victories, what do you think the keys are with the team in order to continue to play well, but not only do that consistently, game after game after game?
Well, we've seen from the outset this season, the Panthers, you mentioned at home, they've really done a good job taking care of home ice. So a lot of home games to work with here. They've been a good starting team this season for much more often than not. They've been the aggressors out of the gate, and that's been a big help for this team. You look at what they've been able to do, and the record shows it. The stats show it. When they score the first goals in games, when they lead after the second periods. I know I'm not breaking any ground. A lot of teams are going to have more success when they score first, but this Panthers team, when they get out to leads, they are able to lock down hockey games with the best of them. So we've seen them have good starts repeatedly. We've seen them come out and initiate the offense, on many occasions this year. I'd expect that to be the key once again, especially with a team like New Jersey coming in here that's going to be coming in off a tough loss. A team like Edmonton coming in on Saturday. Obviously, there's a history between the Panthers and the Oilers, back-to-back Cup final matchups. The Panthers coming out on top in both of those. So again, for the Panthers, these next two games, having good starts going to be extremely important against teams that, again, are teams that expect to be in the playoff picture when things are said and done.
That's Doug Plagens, the radio play-by-play man. We'll get back into what to expect from that Oiler and New Jersey Devil game. But to look back a little bit earlier this week when the Capitals came into town, and it was a bit of an emotional night, a good morale game for the Florida Panthers because a number of things happened. Seth Jones got his 100th goal. And you also had Brad Marchand becoming, I believe, the 102nd player in the history of the National Hockey League to get 1,000 points. And it came at the end of the game so that all the guys cleared the ice. They got on top of him. It was a great little moment. And Brad Marchand talked about it after, talking about how it shares with Boston. It's a piece of Boston, his history with Boston, and now on his new home here with the Florida Panthers. What is a game like that in terms of the morale of the team, the momentum of the team you could see that these guys love playing with each other. And I think that was the most apparent thing that I noticed when Marchand got that 1,000th point, and even Seth Jones getting his 100th goal. What do games like that, momentum's milestones like that, do for a hockey team in your experience following the Florida Panthers and following the National Hockey League?
It's huge. And we've talked to a handful of the guys about exactly that game, because that game in particular, you had Brad Marchand reach 1,000 points. You also had, like you said, Seth Jones and Evan Rodriguez scored their 100th goals in the National Hockey League. Gus Forsling hit the 200-point mark in his National Hockey League career. So you had milestones coming from every angle. And then, of course, the game against Vancouver the other night, Jeff Petrie played his 1,000th NHL game. So there have been milestones, it seems like, left and right for this team. And we've talked about that with a handful of the guys, because at the end of the day, it's a long National Hockey League season. And it's a grind, and there's a lot that goes into it. And when you have really anything along the way that you can rally around, that the group can rally around, it can be exactly that, a rallying point for a team in a long season. And it's special to be able to share those moments. All the guys in there, they're so appreciative of everything that their teammates are able to accomplish, any milestone that comes along. So yeah, they're big. Like I said, it's huge for, just looking at it from Brad Marchand for his his career resume. He's in my mind, a surefire future Hall of Famer, 2 Stanley Cups now, beloved by two fan bases, 1,000 points. His plus minus in his career is something like plus 282, something like that. It's in that range. It's something that doesn't even look like a real number when you look at the stat sheet. He's done so many great things in his career, and to be able to see him hit that mark in person at Amerant Bank Arena on this homestand was a special event. The same thing went for Jeff Petrie hitting 1,000 games, and there will be some other milestones that happen over the course of the season. Sergei Bobrovsky, with that win over Vancouver the other night, moved into sole possession and ninth on the all-time goaltending wins list. So again, a lot of different milestones being hit. And when you play in a long season, for a team to be able to have those things to rally around, it's special, and it also just it's exactly that. It's a rallying point for any team.
And I got to imagine the monotony of the season can catch up to a player when it's all right. It's game at home, game at home, game at home. I like the point you made about how it kind of breaks it up a little bit, and it allows you to have, yes, victories are victories in the regular season. But if you're a team like the Florida Panthers, you have Stanley Cup aspirations. That just seems like the norm. But when you have career milestones that can kind of break up the season a little bit, I got to imagine it kind of grounds everybody together and brings the group together even further. From you being on the road with the team, understanding game by game, day by day, have you noticed the group become closer because of moments like this, because of the challenges that they've faced this year? Have you noticed the camaraderie kind of increase? Does anything strike you as different comparatively?
Well, as far as this team goes, it's always been a tight-knit group. And, you hear that about a lot of teams, but with this team over the years, it's been the truth. These guys not only have a great locker room, a great culture that's been set, and that starts with a lot of different people, and it's been put in place over a number of years, but tight-knit locker room, great culture, easy for new guys to come into, and easy for new guys to come in and understand exactly what's expected of them. But you also have a group of guys who genuinely do enjoy being around each other. And, that just adds to why these different milestones are so special, because you have a group of guys down there that just have so much respect and admiration for the guy next to them in the dressing room. It's a special team. And, to be able to have the success that this team has had on the ice, you've got to be able to have a team that bonds like this one has off the ice. It's extremely important. We've seen that. And again, it's whenever a milestone is hit, you see the respect and the admiration and the appreciation each of these guys have for their teammates.
And 8 of the next 9 at home. Doug, from your perspective, what are you looking for? Are there any questions you're looking to still have this team answer for you that you're hoping that this 9-game stretch, where most of this will be at Amerant Bank Arena, what are you looking to see answered? Do you have any questions at this point about the team, how they respond to certain things? Or more importantly, what are you looking to see from the team these next 9?
No, I think just building off the success they've had on home ice. I think if they can continue to make Amerant Bank Arena a tough place to play, which they've done for years now, they have a chance to really get some separation from some teams in the Eastern Conference standings. It's a season like not many others. You look across the entire league, and they're just about everybody at this point. We're coming up on about 25% of the schedule in the books for most teams, and just about everybody would look at it and figure they still have a chance to be in the Stanley Cup playoffs. And you haven't been able to say that every year, but this year everybody has playoff aspirations, it feels like. So an opportunity for the Panthers to really get some separation. And again, they know this team's accomplished so much, and there's been such great buy-in over the years from the systems that Paul Maurice has put in place, and obviously the personnel that Bill Zito has put here has provided great organizational depth to be able to handle the different losses of certain players in the lineup and things like that. For this team, they know what's expected of them. And you look back at some of the games, even the games they've fallen short in, they know exactly what they need to do. And I think that's one of the biggest things that you acquire when you're a team like the Panthers and you've had the success that they've had. And quite honestly, you've seen really everything the game can throw at you these last few years. You know exactly how to manage the day by day. And most importantly, it's something Paul Maurice has said since he's been here. He's very big on making sure that, even in a loss, the game needs to look a certain way. And if the game looks the way that it's supposed to, this team's going to be fine. And, I think right here, they have a real chance to make a move on home ice, and they've rattled off some wins and, some big time opponents coming in, certainly, but it's a big opportunity for the Panthers to I guess, make some hay here on home ice.
And looking ahead, another thing that Paul Maurice mentioned the other day that everybody's sort of gearing up for is Matthew Tkachuk coming back from that torn adductor muscle that he got surgery for in the offseason. Maurice said that he's going to planning in the next couple of weeks here to get him back onto the ice, get him back into the fold. From you being inside the locker room, understanding basically what this looks like, what's your expectation in terms of how he's going to come back and what is he going to bring to the team in terms of a shot of life at this point when eventually he does come back in the next couple weeks?
Yeah, I mean, the timetable is still not definitive in any way. So it's still very much a wait and see, even though it seems like there's been some encouraging, that was some encouraging news there. But, it's very much still a wait and see. But as you know, with Matthew, he just embodies so much of what this Panthers team has been about since he's thrown the jersey on for the first time, and obviously plays with an emotional edge to his game and that physical edge to his game, and brings so many different attributes to the table. And no doubt he's one of the leaders on this team, but he's also an all-world talent and a point producer and a guy who can do a little bit of everything for this team. And when he's ready to get back in, I have no doubts he's going to be able to pick up right where he left off. But again, we'll wait and see. We'll hope that I can speak for everybody. I know we all can't wait to see that Panther sweater back on number 19.
Well, we're looking forward to it. Doug, I'm looking forward to seeing the Panthers hopefully continue to control home ice here in the next homestand, the two kind of small ones that they got of 4 games. I appreciate you giving us the time. Looking forward to talking again soon, maybe after a couple more home victories and a little inching closer to that potential quest for a 3rd Stanley Cup. Doug, we appreciate it. Looking forward to talking again soon, all right?
Thanks so much for having me.